If you are pregnant and you are tired of performing core exercises on your back or on your knees, I have got 10 standing core exercise variations I want to cover with you today because as a pelvic floor physical therapist myself, this is something that a lot of my patients and program members will request. So let's just get right into it on these 10 standing core variations. The first is just a farmer's carry march. You're gonna grab 2 heavy dumbbells. You're gonna stand nice and tall. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see a little bit better. So I want you to imagine someone's pulling you with a string up towards that ceiling. So you're keeping the ribs stacked over your pelvis. Dumbbells are low down by your side. Inhale, exhale, zip up your core, maintain that deep core tension, and you're just going to march from one leg to the other. Staying tall through the spine, pressing the foot through the floor so you're not sinking into your hips. The second exercise is another variation on that farmer's carry march, but this time I want you to bring one dumbbell up high and keep the other dumbbell down low. This just provides a little bit more of a challenge to your core as well as to your shoulders. So in this same position, you're going to inhale, exhale, zip the core, maintain that deep core tension, and just alternate marching one leg and then the other. And you might notice one side feels easier to perform than the other. And just make sure you perform this on both sides. So you'll just switch halfway through the designated time or number of reps. Notice how with every exhale, I'm further wrapping my deep core, engaging from the bottom up. The third exercise is called a suitcase carry because you're just holding a dumbbell in one side. We're still going to perform that same march position. Tall through that spine, ribs are directly over the pelvis. You're going to inhale, exhale, wrap the core, zip it up. You're just going to march. I'm exhaling every time I bring that knee to about hip height. And the reason we call it a suitcase carry is because imagine you are holding a suitcase just in one hand. And so you're really having to work the obliques but honestly, both sides. You're having to work the obliques on the opposite side to help keep you upright. So that way you don't just fall over. But you're also having to stabilize on the side that is holding the dumbbell. You could also just perform these walking, any of these farmer's variations, if you have a lot of space, where you can just walk and just go the full length of your mat. Our fourth exercise is a standing Pallof press. You want to have a band that's attached to something at around belly or hip height. You're going to bring a band with some tension right to your belly button. Feet are about hip width apart. You're standing nice and tall through your spine. Inhale, exhale, zip up the core as you press the band directly out in front of you, and then inhale as it comes back in. You want to keep the shoulders directly in line with your side body so they're not rounding forward. And there should be enough tension on the band that as you push this band away from your body, you are working hard to keep it from pulling you back towards the attachment point. Our fifth exercise is another variation of the Pallof press, but this time you're going to get into a split stance position with your outer leg in front and your inner leg that's closest to the band slightly behind it, almost like staggered on railroad tracks. We call this a split stance position. And from here, you're going to inhale, exhale, press the band out, and now you're going to add a lift slightly above your shoulders, and then inhale as you come back down and return. You'll really notice the challenge in the core as you have to lift that band up. Always making sure that there is tension on the band. And you're trying to keep it directly in line with your belly button. Our sixth standing core exercise is another Pallof press variation. You'll notice that these are just a lot of variations of the same movements because there's only so much we can do in standing to work our core. Now you're going to maintain that split stance position. Band is still attached. This time you're going to inhale, exhale, press the band out, and then rotate over that front leg. And then inhale as you come back in. This is really good for the obliques. So with the Pallof press, we're resisting rotation, but then by adding the rotation, then we're actually using the obliques to go through rotation. So the ways that you work your core, or really any muscle group, is you're working through the range of motion. So for instance, just flexing your trunk to work your abdominals, or you can resist that motion as well. So you're preventing your abdominals from flexing by doing some sort of standing exercise. Exercise number 7, we are still in this split stance position, but this time you're gonna start with your hands down low, gripping the band, facing with your head turned towards wherever the band is coming from. And we're going to lift in a diagonal fashion up and overhead. So you're going to inhale, exhale, zip the core as you lift up and over the opposite shoulder. Keeping a soft bend in your knees, rotating up and over that shoulder. You should feel this in your obliques. Going slow and controlled. It's not about how fast you go. It's about, can you properly engage the muscles that you're trying to engage? And do so without holding your breath. Now, hopefully it goes without saying that you can do a lot of these exercise variations in that original standing position that we did for that Pallof press. So you don't always have to be in a split stance position. You can be, or you can have your feet equidistant from one another just in a regular standing position, but I tend to find the split stance position is a little bit more stable. Exercise number 8, you get to drop the band and just hold one heavy dumbbell in your side. And we're going to continue working on the obliques, but with a standing side bend. So you can place your hand behind your free hand behind your head if that feels good for you. Tall through the spine, inhale, exhale, zip up your core, maintain that tension. Now inhale as you slowly lower the weight down your thigh. Imagine you're shaving your outer thigh with that weight. And then exhale, further wrap that core as you return to start. So you're using the opposite obliques. You're lengthening them right here under a load. We're eccentrically strengthening the opposite obliques, and then we are shortening them or concentrically strengthening those obliques as you return to start. So when you inhale, you're not losing that core tension. And then when you exhale and return to start, you're just further wrapping that deep core. I want you to also imagine you're stuck between 2 panes of glass. That way you stay nice and upright and completely in this side bend motion rather than hunching forward or exaggerating, sticking that belly out. Our 9th exercise, you're going to grab a lighter dumbbell. I'm using about 10 pounds. We're going to continue working our core, but it's going to be a little bit more dynamic. What it'll look like is you're going to hold the dumbbell low. We're going to squat as you bring the dumbbell towards the outer leg of one foot, and then exhale, lift it up and overhead. So you're still kind of doing that lifting motion that we did with the split stance, lift with the band, but now you're standing and going from a squatting position to a standing position. Using that pursed lip exhale to help engage that deep core, stabilize the spine as you lift the dumbbell overhead. And our final 10th exercise, save the best for last and quite possibly the hardest, is an overhead march. So you want to choose dumbbells that are heavy enough to challenge you, but don't also make you fall over. I'm going to turn to the side. You're going to hold both dumbbells overhead. Inhale, exhale, zip the core, and march here. Staying tall through that spine. wrapping that core. You can also bring the dumbbells down to your shoulders if you need to, or you can even drop one dumbbell and just work on a little bit more unilateral core strength, really exaggerating that exhale, hugging the baby, wrapping the deep core. Now remember, just because you're pregnant does not mean that you have to stop strengthening your core. And in fact, you should prioritize continuing to strengthen your deep core, as well as the obliques and all the different muscles that make up your core. Having a strong core is not only going to help you during pregnancy by helping to reduce pain like low back pain and hip pain and SI joint pain, but it's also going to help you with your postpartum recovery, because once you have built muscle once, the body remembers that, and that muscle will come back faster the second time you try and rebuild it, aka postpartum. If you are looking for a fully guided, pregnancy safe, and optimized strength training program, I have got a 37-week program just for you that includes upper body, lower body, full body, and a pelvic floor and core day that includes movements just like the ones that you saw. I will include a link for it in the description below. If you have any questions on any of these movements, or you have an idea for a future video that you want to see, please drop a comment below and make sure to subscribe so you never miss a pregnancy, postpartum, or pelvic floor educational video.